Yo, 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 we back in full effect. It's the SPINION.
Yes,
Yeah. The sports world is going crazy right now. So we definitely got to embark on what's going on. We got to put our input, take our opinion on once again. I'm Ice.
Rico.
And you know how we do with the SPINION. Please comment. Please like. Please tell your friends about it. It's going to be all day, every day. It's on YouTube. Subscribe, share it, let everybody know what's going on. We got the rants coming out now. You heard about Rico's rant last couple weeks ago. All facts. It was beautiful. It was amazing. So please check out the SPINION. Let's get right into this new episode coming up to you. This one might be a little bit longer, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes long, because we gotta dissect the NBA a little bit. So give us a little bit of time on this one. You know, take some time. Make sure you comment. You always can pause and come back. Always can do that. That's what's so beautiful about this show. You can come back and just see what's going on, and then comment whenever you feel necessary to need to. All right. Real quick, we're going to talk about the NFL real briefly and college football just to see how everything is going. We're going to hit it up a little bit. The NFL, so far so good. What you think?
So far, you know, if you watched the earlier episodes, so far I'm right on the money. Like, I got it almost all the way down pat. Had Green Bay looking good. Had San Francisco as my surprise team. That was going to be a surprise if Garoppolo was healthy. You know, so everything is pretty much going according to plan. We knew, you know, let's pause for a second and talk about the things that happened at the beginning of the year where you have Cowboys off to a hot start.
Right. But we talked last week about they ain't played nobody.
Absolutely, they ain't played nobody. And you automatically knew. One thing about the NFL season to me that I always noticed, through that first 4 weeks, anybody can get hot. But the cream is always going to rise to the top. And then the deficiencies are always going to show up. Right. We saw with Kansas City last 2 weeks, actually, against Detroit, and then losing, you know, against the Colts, right?
Yeah, they lost against the Colts.
You know, losing against the Colts. With exactly the things that I said are going to be their problems. We got New England getting into a place, you know, where everybody thinks it's a struggle, but this is, you know, this is New England's process. Every year is different. They go through changes, a lot of turnover, usually from one year to the next.
But the one thing they can stick to is their defense.
Absolutely.
And so that helps them a lot.
Absolutely. One thing about New England is while they're figuring it out, they're winning.
Right.
So, you know, New England is 5-0. Any other surprise team?
One surprise for me is the Saints. The fact that they still winning with this fact that Drew Brees being out. I think that
that was a surprise.
It was a surprise at how well that they're doing defensively.
I personally, that's what I was about to say. I think Bridgewater's doing an excellent job.
Absolutely.
He's doing way better than he's done at his previous stops. But the way their offense works with the dinking and the dunking, getting the ball off fast, he's been in the system. He was there last year.
Right.
You know, he just wasn't playing. So I personally thought they would continue to win, especially when I saw the teams that were on their schedule that were going to underestimate them. You know, it's almost like, and we'll talk about that some things next. But it's like clockwork. It's week 4, Cowboys Saints. Like if you've been watching football over the last decade, like you knew which way that might go. I mean, only people I feel like should be surprised are Cowboys fans.
They could be surprised. I got to be disappointed a little bit in the way they played against the Saints. I just think that I know we giving a lot of credit to their defense. I just really felt like they were a little blamed.
Well, it was just a better team, and I don't mean better as far as talent, but I mean better organizational talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the way they approach the game. You know, you have teams like the Cowboys, the Browns. They're gonna approach the game in a really immature, fashion.
Okay.
Then you got teams like the Saints, who they do this every year. I mean, like, and they're gonna approach it in a different way that's gonna allow them to continue to be successful, even without, you know, Drew Brees. They have all of the pieces are there for the Saints. The Saints are my Super Bowl pick, like I said.
Right.
They'll be in the Super Bowl along with the Patriots. And the team that you have challenging them in the NFC now, I think the picture is starting to get cleared in the NFL as the weeks go on, because it seems you thought if you watch that, you thought might have challenged the Saints.
Right.
You're starting to see that they're not legitimate teams.
Okay.
You know, the Rams, Cowboys. You know, you have Green Bay there. You know, Green Bay is still there, but the reality about Green Bay is they don't have the offensive talent there.
They don't have the weapons to make Aaron Rodgers that guy that he has been in the past.
Exactly. And you know,
but I was surprised they run game looked pretty good.
I think the team looks good. The defense looks good. The run game looks good. But the one thing you always have to talk about when you talk about the NFL is when that turnover comes. They have a new coach, new offensive system, and listen, they're not gonna figure it all out this year and get to the Super Bowl.
Okay,
if it happens, it's a miracle. Kudos to Aaron Rodgers, but we see them struggling.
One team that I feel like it could happen. If it does, I wouldn't be surprised is the 49ers. Because they can run the ball, which helps them in the cold weather, and they have a stout defense.
Absolutely.
So that helps you when you, like you said, the turnover comes.
Yeah.
And then once again, if you could keep this winning going, which I don't know if they can, you know, but if they can keep this winning going the way they are, they can get home field. That might be better for them. They seem like they're prepared for the cold weather.
But what happens is I like to talk about the intellectual part of the game.
Okay.
Because one thing that happens is now they're undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go from surprise to about week 8. The league's going to change again because people are going to start expecting things from them.
Okay.
And when they have that nighttime game and they put them on prime time and they go against, you know, those top teams, then we'll get to see whether or not they're for real, whether or not they're going to actually show up.
But I think,
you know?
like I said, with people like Sherman there, they got, even though Garoppolo hasn't played a lot, he's played in the Patriots system.
Absolutely.
So he understands success. Like I said, I'm saying if they get there, it wouldn't surprise me just based on their formula they have right now.
It would surprise me if they would beat the Saints. And it also would surprise me. But I love what the 49ers are doing right now. Mm-hmm. But you're starting to see, once teams start getting successful, you start to see the other agendas on the team. So you're starting to see Sherman get louder, making up that stuff about Baker Mayfield. You know, the same thing that the Cleveland Browns are struggling with. Not that Sherman is Baker Mayfield. He definitely has more room to talk than that. Mm-hmm. But the same thing you see showing up in Cleveland and in Dallas. But now that the San Francisco is actually winning, let's see if those things start to show up, because they're starting to show up now. You know, instead of talking about them being undefeated, we were talking about Baker Mayfield not shaking Sherman's hand. And come to find out, he shook the man's hand. You're going to find out he's just making noise or whatever. But they want attention. Yeah, nobody's talking about them being undefeated. You know, and it was a good win. But you know, I like like I said. I said if Garoppolo can stay healthy, they have a chance at making some noise. But let's see what happens after week 8.
After week 8, so let's mark it here. After week 8, let's see where San Francisco's at. Another team, the Seahawks. You know, Russell Wilson. He's making a lot of plays out of nothing. Once again, it's early, but I mean, he's doing some very magical things. That was another team I like Russell Wilson. Surprise team. They got Jadeveon Clowney on the other end. You know, the Legion of Boom is not there, but they seem to be stout up front with their defensive line. And their thing is they can stay in games. They believe Russell will win
in the end, and that's a good formula for being able to be successful. Usually what happens, though, is that might get you past the first round, but eventually, somebody's going to stop Russell Wilson. And we're big on Russell Wilson, like, you know, but eventually, if you don't have the full, you know, organization behind it, something goes wrong.
Get AJ Green.
Listen, I don't like to talk about speculation, but I'm going to be honest. I see this come up a couple days ago, and I'm like, so I'm like, I gotta look at all of it. It wouldn't be unfair. This is the problem that I feel like, you know, and we can move on. But my problem when people talk about the Pats, you know, and analyze the Patriots, is that it go from 1 week is it's unfair. They shouldn't have it, and then they finally release Antonio Brown, and it's like, where are the weapons? Look at this. This is bare bones.
That's them. You know that ain't me. I believe that I talked about it last week. I believe they already had weapons with the Edelmans and the Gordons.
But this is what you find out, and to me, this is the testament to Tom Brady's greatness, and really just the organization greatness is you find out from week to week. It's really not the talent. Mm-hmm. The talent sometimes doesn't show up at all. It's like, oh, you got Josh Gordon, and then for 4 weeks, it's like is he running like he got a piano on his back? Is he fat? Is he heavy? Yeah. You know, even Tom Brady has those games like he had against Buffalo. Where they're like, you know, he needs to retire, and then we get down here at week 12, and 13, and they're like, it's not fair. Like, you know, like, he went from being terrible.
I just think from their perspective, like you said, I totally agree with you about the organization, because for them to have the money to pull this stuff off means that players have taken sacrifices. They convince players to come in to this winning cultural system, moving money around. That's game management. That's how you do it in the NFL. That's how you stay successful.
I certainly hope they can pull it off, even for Green. It'd be nice for him to be able, because he's been approaching the game like a professional up there in Cincinnati.
Right.
It would be nice to see him get to be a part of a good organization and a part of big time football, you know, in big games that actually matter and actually count. So, you know, Bengals do the right thing and just make the trade.
Okay,
you know?
Moving on. We're going to go to college football real quick. I just got a couple questions to ask him, because me, as a fan of college football, watching these games, I'm bored out of my mind. It's too many blowouts. Now, ESPN does a good job of marketing these games, these night games and stuff like that, but there's no way you should have been, maybe because the area I'm in, you should have been saying on Ohio State versus Michigan State or Ohio State versus Nebraska. Can they get the SEC contract to play them in night games too? Because this was, you really, I never thought that Nebraska or Michigan State had a chance against Ohio State.
But that's just because they don't have a chance, but it's in conference, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying to show that game at night,
it's Ohio, but this is the thing. This is the thing you gotta. It's worth saying about college football, and it's kind of like this about football, just in general. It's about the program, but it's the brands. Like, you know, so people love Ohio State,
right?
And people that like football teams are very loyal to their team. So, to me personally, I get the complaint from the college football fan, but when people watch college football games, they're watching to watch their team. You know what I mean? Like, so it's Ohio State is a big draw, Alabama's the big draw, Clemson is the big draw, and this how I feel about the blowouts and the scheduling. I get what people are saying, that they should give other teams an opportunity or play teams that can beat them more. But the reality of these programs is that they've spent the last, 30, 40 years putting all of this together. Like, they've earned it. You know, just like when I was talking about with the NFL, it's organizational talent. These programs, play them if you want to. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, you're getting beat by 30. And I know that you think you could win if they did have to play you.
Right.
But then we do the football playoff or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and you get the door smacked off by 30 or whatever.
So I'm going to give you a list of 5 teams, and we're going to move on. And you're going to tell, in college football, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you, do you think they for real or are they not for real? Okay? Number 1, Ohio State. Are they for real?
Ohio State is for real.
Now they got Wisconsin, Penn State, and Michigan still on their schedule.
Well, it's like I would like to also bring up that I made a prediction earlier in one of our other shows, and I told y'all what Michigan was gonna do.
Right. I'm just saying, with those 3 left, you think they for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are all
right. Let's go to the next one. The Wisconsin one, I think it's gonna be a game. I think it's gonna be a game this year. I think Ohio State's still gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a challenging game.
Well, good. Right. Like you said, a good shot.
Florida.
I think Florida's for real.
I think their schedule's too tough. They already got Auburn, they got LSU,
they
still got Georgia on their schedule.
Will they win them all? Probably not, because, like you said, what they doing what you said that they should do.
Right.
But you know, I think they're traditionally, you know what I'm saying, you got to respect for it.
Okay, LSU.
I think
they all pass happy now.
I'm about to say, right, they're throwing a lot of pass. I was thinking that they're a lot.
They still have Auburn on their schedule.
There are a lot of flash.
I think they got Georgia this year.
I
think they got out there.
You know, they got Alabama. Flash.
Yeah.
A lot of flash, a lot of big plays. I just don't think that that's something that you can count on. So no.
Okay, let's go with Georgia, your consummate number 3 team.
Georgia's always for real, for 3rd place.
Okay. And finally, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's for real.
Okay.
Oklahoma's for real. Real talent at quarterback. And, you know, they don't play defense.
I think the Texas game will show us how for real Oklahoma is, because I don't think they play anybody else after Texas. Mm-hmm. And I think if they do well in that game. And then, let me throw it on Notre Dame. They looked pretty good against Georgia. They lost, but they probably looked the best they've ever looked against an SEC team.
But Notre Dame is never.
They're not for real. No, they're not for real. All right. Let's move on to what we're here for, the NBA. You know what I'm saying? National Basketball Association.
We here, baby! Preseason. Preseason been way too lit.
Stop it.
It's been way too lit. I watched every game. I watched every game.
The preseason has got people going crazy, but realize it's the preseason.
It's crazy.
Here goes a case in point. ESPN shows the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes.
against Atlanta Hawks, and it looked like Ball had a 3-point shot that was about to be crazy this year.
It was going down.
But when you look at the stat sheet, that brother was 3 for 9. He hit 1 3, the one that they showed.
Did he shoot 9 threes?
He was 3 for 9 from the field. So you talk about a cool jump shot. That's the same.
But he missed some. It's really those layups, and he needs to improve them layups too.
I'm just saying, though.
But he shot well from 3, way better than he usually does.
Don't throw your whole stock.
But he missed a lot of bunnies, a lot of
right,
layups.
The preseason, please. I get excited because what you see is some potential. But once again, you'll see that, it's the preseason. Let's get going. James Harden is averaging like 40 in the preseason.
But he gonna average like 40.
Why is he playing so many minutes?
Because James Harden is James Harden.
He's playing too much in the preseason.
They don't get it. They still don't get it.
Good. Yeah.
They don't get it.
It should be 20 minutes or less.
Soon as they interviewed them, and I heard Russell Westbrook say, "We gonna be dangerous for the rest of the league," I'm like, you don't get it.
So let's get into it before you get to ranting and it's like it's all the way over. So let's talk about the top 5 players 5 to 1. This is our top 5 this week of top 5 players in the NBA before the season starts. Preseason top 5, not team, but just top 5 players, just flat out. Who you got?
Top 5.
I'll go with my 5. I got AD, James Harden, Giannis, Kawhi, LeBron.
Okay.
Now, the NBA just put out that list of the top 100, and we both was mad because LeBron was number 3.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I do believe that Kawhi, I don't know how to pronounce his name right, but I know he has not supplanted LeBron. I still think LeBron's number 1. And I'll talk about it later as we go on in our preview about LeBron and how he gets an unfair situation that's similar to another player back in history that I think LeBron is being totally taken.
Man, and how I'm expecting them to perform this year. Mm-hmm. Top 5 players in the league. 5th, James Harden.
Okay.
4, Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
3, Kawhi. 2, AD, LeBron. 1.
Okay. The thing about Giannis that people keep trying to say is that he needs to develop a jumper. And I hear what you're saying. He does. He needs a mid-range. He don't need a 3. He needs a mid-range. The thing I think he needs to do more about, and this is something that I'm big with Ben Simmons about too, they need to post up more. I think.
But they don't have it.
In their right. I'm saying that's in the summer, that's what you need to be developing.
He needs a move and a counter move.
And he needs a hook and
that's old school basketball.
LeBron even goes through it sometimes.
He go in the playoffs.
Michael Jordan said it best. He said when they would have back-to-back games, and he taught Kobe this, they would go back to the basket in the second game to save their legs. And then you can't really handle it. And then what LeBron can do out of the post, because you're going to have to guard on the double team.
Yeah.
And you can pass out the post. Make the game simpler. They make it harder by backing all the way up and trying to break something out of the dribble. Yeah.
Move, counter move.
Because in the NBA, I feel like it's not about stopping a guy. It's about taking out his legs.
But that's it's the way they approach the game.
Yeah.
They see it as a drive and kick, constantly driving, quick kick, constantly.
Right.
But once, like you said, once the team strategizes against that, it all goes out the window. That's why you have all of these good regular season teams, but by the time the postseason gets here, they can't show up. You just wall it off.
But think about how you would wear down defenses in the post. You know what
I'm saying?
But
the thing is,
with the shooters that they have,
he can't do it because that part of his game isn't refined. Post game is something that is refined and developed.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
And he doesn't have that. It's just not there.
Man, but do you see how him and Ben with his body could just be bruising people in the post and still getting his assists off, still getting there for offensive rebounds? It'd just be a greater situation for them. That it'd be more simpler than going 5 out and having somebody wear you down with your legs, and then you can't shoot the ball when it's needed to be.
Yeah, but if you can't shoot, you can't shoot. If shooting ain't all about pulling up for a jumper, but shooting is all about touch as well. And that's why I said Lonzo he's shooting the 3 better, but they threw him a oop on one play and he tried to touch it in and it didn't go towards the rim. It's touch around the basket. And Ben Simmons doesn't have bad touch around the basket. Right. He shoots that floater with his offhand, I guess, which is probably the hand he should be shooting.
I would just think with Giannis with his length, nice jump hook, nice turnaround, like you said. He can jump hook with both hands. If somebody, it has to be developed.
I agree. It has to be developed, but it will also be the coach facilitating the change in their whole strategy.
And that's what's so funny to me, because he's from the Spurs situation. And they threw Duncan down in there. Even if he go to the post and go turn and face.
But now they feel like the most beneficial thing for the team is for Giannis to basically be the point
in the regular season. But he's got to start thinking about playoffs now, because you got to be thinking, I'm from the East. I'm going to the playoffs.
It makes that's the difference that makes the good teams from the great teams. Can
Absolutely.
you adjust? And what we found out last year is no, they can't adjust. And now they lost, one of their better shooters. We'll see if Milwaukee can pull it together, but I'm expecting them to take a step back.
All right, let's go to our awards for the NBA this year. We'll go with our Defensive Player of the Year. Who you thinking?
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. I'm going with Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday, not that he won't play great defense, but Drew Holiday is good at defense every year. They don't give it to smaller players.
I hear what you're saying, but this year they'll be on TV a whole lot more.
It don't matter how much they on TV.
They gave it to Kawhi.
They won't be on TV. They won't be on TV more than Anthony Davis. And this is why you give it to players like Kawhi. You give it to players like Kawhi because of LeBron. And not even because they stop him, but just he made that 3 spot, that swing wing player, that premier defensive position. So a lot of those players, not that Kawhi isn't great defensively, but a lot of those players, their defensive greatness gets exaggerated at that point.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because of the outlier last year was Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert was sitting there, and he got the Defensive Player of the Year, even though he was third in blocks. He did, rearrange some shots and was in there. Right. So I just threw an outlier out there. I'm like, usually they throw the Defensive Player of the Year to somebody who, is a stalwart, usually consistent. Drew Holiday I think Drew Holiday is one of the most underrated players in the league.
I don't think, I think he'll be great, but I personally don't think he'll be the best defensive guard. He won't get, even if he is, with them on TV more. Listen, it's the best defensive guard this year in the league is going to be between Patrick Beverley and Avery Bradley, and that's just what it's going to be.
I totally disagree with you.
You think it's going to be Drew Holiday?
I just don't like Patrick Beverley. That's it.
Oh, but I'm not talking about.
I understand what you said.
I personally feel like he plays it with a lot of gusto more than actual.
It's more antics,
strategy, and defensive IQ. That's how I feel about it. I feel about that. But sometimes he be moving crazy, bro. Like, you gonna hurt somebody, and he does. He hurt Westbrook. Like that's why Westbrook be having to get knee surgery. We gonna lose 5 years of Westbrook all because of him acting crazy.
6th man of the year.
6th man of the year. That's a tough one, but I'll still give it to Lou.
It's a tough one because we don't know how the rosters are going to pan out yet. So I gave it to Sabonis from the Pacers. Every year he's in double figures in points and gets about 9 rebounds. I think he's had cemented his place on that team as their 6th man. So once again, I just think a dark horse type of guy that is always considered but doesn't get it. I think Lou Williams is going to be the product of the fact that they're playing with a better team. Yeah. So they might not give it to him.
I think they're going to give it to him because they're playing a better team. I get what you're saying, where you feel like it's about to be a changing of the guard. Right. But I feel like what it seems like happening in the NBA to me is that the things that were like on the surface are kind of just being exaggerated and elevated. So like the Clippers were a good team. He was already winning, but now the Clippers are going to be everywhere. They're the media darlings. Yeah. If the Clippers have a good record, expect Lou Williams to get 6 minutes. Expect Kawhi to be in a conversation for Defensive Player of the Year and MVP. Like, expect these things, even if it's not deserved.
Most improved player.
Man,
that's still a hard one too because of the roster situation. There's a lot of people to consider, and then how they do the most improved player of the year award. What is it? What is it based on?
Sometimes it gets confusing.
It does get confusing. I put Andrew Wiggins because he promised that he's going to be a better player. I think that this year he might come out and do some things. He's always had
You believe him when he talks. You are a hope. You are definitely a faith-based man.
Actually, honestly, I just looked at rosters and just put him in there. No, because I still don't believe. I don't know about.
Because one thing he's always been a near 20-point per game scorer, if not 20, plus. But he's very inconsistent and he just doesn't play with enough energy and heart.
I think that's the whole problem with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
He doesn't show up.
Even Karl Anthony Towns, he puts up good numbers, but it's just in big games you forgot that he was there. Or you forget that they're playing, or something, so to speak. So it's kind of hard, but I just put him in there. And if you don't have one, don't worry about that one. Who's your rookie of the year?
Rookie of the year is going to be Zion.
I totally agree.
And if you didn't see it,
don't do the preseason stuff, please.
If you didn't see it, it's there.
His motor is ridiculous.
It's there.
His motor, his energy. People was talking about his weight. I knew he was gonna lose the weight. We was talking about his weight in the summer. Come on, man. The guy had to do all these public appearances. He had to do that. when he gets in the game, Zion is focused. Zion is about team, and the team around him, he doesn't have to do nothing extra special but be Zion.
Yeah.
And they'll get him like you see, ball trying to get him the ball because what he can do with it, and he's just got that motor.
But he's definitely heavy. He looks about 20 pounds heavy this year,
and still explosive.
But still explosive. But I don't want to disparage him because he's not healthy. We have to remember he's a kid, and he's not a workout warrior at this point in his career.
Right.
So you can't expect him to be healthy or be in shape with the way that they treated him.
Right.
From the last second he played at Duke, they have barely let this man touch a basketball court. Every time we see him play, they're like, oh.
I think once again, he's gonna get a personal trainer. He's gonna get an enhanced diet. Like you said, he'll trim about 10, 20, and once again, he's playing. Yeah, it's gonna fall off. And he's gonna be. He hasn't even grown into his whole self yet.
But he does. He needs to have a conversation moving forward and see what works for him in the off season.
Sure, he need to have a conversation with the Saints and play a little bit of tight end.
Right, do something to keep him active.
Finally, MVP. Who you got?
The MVP for this year is gonna be Mr. LeBron James. He reclaims the throne. Like he said, he literally said that that's what he was going to do. He will be the MVP this year. I mean, I don't know that if y'all watched. How he looked.
Okay.
How he looked.
Right.
But he looks good. The team looks even better. Team looks great. Anthony Davis is going to play great. But LeBron he's going to control that narrative this year. He wins the MVP.
I agree, but I don't think he's going to win it. And I'm going to break it down. I think Kawhi is going to win it. And the reason is I think LeBron is fall prey to the Shaq factor. And I'm going to explain that to you. The Shaq factor, about 5 years into the league, Shaq should have been the MVP about 3 times. They gave it to some other people that was well less deserving. LeBron should have been the MVP about 3 other times in his career. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do that to him again.
But Kawhi Leonard.
Just because of the situation and because of the narrative.
Let's just
He's
take 30 seconds.
27 points, 25, 27.
Kawhi Leonard's going to average 27 in the regular season.
He averaged 25 last year.
But that's not 27.
He's going to average about 25 to 27 points.
Has he ever averaged 27?
He's going to be on lockdown.
He's never averaged 27.
They're not going to do load management anymore.
Yes, he is. You want to know why Kawhi's going to do load management? Because he's always injured.
But no. First of all, agree with me about the LeBron and the Shaq factor, about them always kind of open.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the best.
I agree.
And that's the reason. Listen,
but Kawhi, you think they're gonna give it to Kawhi?
I said I agree with you, but I just don't. I think they're gonna do the Shaq factor with
it. It ain't gonna go, but it's not gonna go to Kawhi. If they do the Shaq factor, it's gonna go to blown up stats. They'll give it to James Harden or somebody like, Giannis that has those regular season kind of, just bloated stats or whatever. Like, Kawhi isn't a stat monster. I mean, I'm sorry to disappoint the people that enjoy his playoff run last year. I enjoyed it as well. Mm-hmm. But just look at his stats in the finals. Like, he's not a stat monster. Like, he's
not a stat monster.
He's not. No. Like, in this year, in this NBA, you have to either be a stat monster or you have to be somebody that controls the game in a way that's consistent. And LeBron is going to do that offensively and defensively. Kawhi is going to always bring that defensive effort. He can sometimes control it defensively, but he's not going to have the assists, the rebounds, the points, the overall impact of the game. It's like, I know people want to give Kawhi all of that.
I hear you on that, but they're going to need him to do rebound more because they're not big.
Who? Kawhi?
Yeah.
But he's even if you need him to rebound more, his stats are gonna be what they are. And I know honestly, NBA preview, let's talk about it. I feel like that is, to me, the reason why I give the Lakers I put them a notch above the Clippers.
Listen,
because I'm not just saying talent. I'm not just saying talent, but I want to say I give them because of production. Mm-hmm. What is the floor of your production? And when you go from the roster top to bottom, like you look at Patrick Beverly, he's gonna give effort, but he scores 6 points a game.
Absolutely.
You look at Kawhi, he's gonna give you effort, but he's a 25 to really 22 point game per score.
Right.
And he's and Paul George is a gunner. So welcome to not sharing the ball Toronto or Spurs. Paul George is gonna shoot that three about 10 times a game.
Bad shot selection.
You know what I'm saying? Like so that's gonna affect his production. Like
I just think that from the media perspective, LeBron,
they surely don't want to give it to LeBron.
They just think that LeBron's gonna be LeBron. And even though he's going to be revenge LeBron, or I'm going to get him LeBron, that's LeBron. That's what LeBron's supposed to do. It's almost like what with Shaq. Shaq's supposed to get you 28 and 12. Yeah. But wait a minute, man. But this is still better than 12. You're right. So LeBron's going to give you 28, 8, and 8 or whatever. Like I told you last week, I think he's going to average a triple-double this year.
I agree. But the one thing that I'm counting on to put him over the top and make him the MVP is that team success. I don't think the Lakers are going to lose a lot this year.
I think that's going to be the Achilles heel, the fact that people think that they, like D'Angelo Russell said it after the preseason, they got an all-star team over here. And so that does that help LeBron or hurt LeBron? When you're talking to the media like I said, I agree, LeBron's going to be the best player this year. But as far as winning that award, it's going to be like, because did you think that James Harden was supposed to win this year or Giannis?
I thought it should be Giannis.
Okay, a lot of people thought it was James. I thought it was Giannis too.
And James thought it should be James.
Right, but a lot of people thought it was James or whatever. But I think, but even though for instance, they discredit LeBron, but he averaged 25, 8, and 8. How can you discredit a guy that played 52 games and almost averaged
27?
Thank you. 8. See, but look,
because of the team's success, they were losing.
Right,
like, you know, but he still was putting up numbers. I just. That's what I see this year because it is a redemption year. Okay. Because it was a down year. We'll get he's gonna make noise when he does it.
He absolutely.
And it'll be different if he did it silently.
Right.
But they're going to command. It's gonna be like the Beatles. It's gonna be crazy. Y'all already see what's happening in the preseason with the attention. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be crazy.
I see it too. And once again, I agree with you. I just don't think that the media. I think some people in the media, like for instance, Shannon Sharp,
he ranked 3.
Stephen A. Smith, he ranked 3. They
probably gonna try to give it to Giannis.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But you said Kawhi. So if you would have said Giannis, I'd have been like, maybe
right
because
now, the media darling is Kawhi.
He might be the media darling, but he's
so if he has a year like he had last year in LA and they win, they're gonna give him the MVP.
That would be crazy.
It would be, but it wouldn't be far-fetched. You know what I'm saying?
Or like Kawhi winning the MVP. I get people are big on Kawhi, but Kawhi's not a...
Okay, mid-season moves to look out
Finals MVP.
Mid-season moves to look out for.
Mid-season moves, Andre Iguodala.
Let's
see if Memphis stops playing around with this man's life. I don't like what Memphis is doing to Andre Iguodala. With getting upset that he basically said he was going to go to the Lakers. Now they just not going to, release the man. You didn't have to trade for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I don't like, and Chris Paul's putting on his, his happy face or whatever, but I don't like what Oklahoma City is doing to Chris Paul right now. Stop trying to sell us that y'all actually are trying to be competitive while you're shopping Adams.
Right.
You're shopping Adams and we're going to kick Chris Paul. Well, if you was going to pay Chris Paul $50 million, you could have played the triple-double machine,
right.
$50 million.
Right.
So I don't like what they're doing. Let's see if Chris Paul can make enough of a showing to end up on the Heat somewhere that's relevant.
Yeah, but the thing about Chris Paul, and I have him as a move as well as mine too, does he make a team a title contender?
No. No, he doesn't make a team a title contender, but I think he has some good basketball left to play.
Absolutely.
There's not. I get that fans want to believe that a lot of players make their teams title contenders, but they don't.
It's only
and that word contender is like, what is that really?
Right.
So if
it's a couple moves that I want you to be mindful of because like I said, as we said Chris Paul, D'Angelo Russell might move or whatever just because of his contract.
And they doing a lot of talking.
Somebody from Denver is going to move because they look like they're talent laden at the 2 and 3
They
spot.
have too much.
Yeah, they got
too much talent. They gotta shore up that rotation.
Kevin Love. I think somebody's going to. I know Cleveland's going to move him. It's just about when and when they're going to move him. Bradley Beal did not sign his extension yet.
He didn't, and I don't think the Wizards move. I've never seen some stubborn organizations. Like New Orleans was pretty stubborn last year.
Right.
But the Wizards are incredibly stubborn with their wild. They're like, no, we're still competing for the playoffs. You be like, what are you talking
with
about?
What?
What are you talking about? You know, so Bill did everything the right way. Let's see where he ends up.
I think the general managers of the Wizards and the general managers of the Redskins, I think they roll together, and that's why both organizations are in disarray right now. I think that's what it is.
Incredibly stubborn.
The last one is Carmelo.
I forgot about Carmelo.
He's a name.
I forgot about Carmelo.
I
was so excited about the season. I forgot about Carmelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Carmelo. I love Carmelo. Who cares? I don't know. If like I said, if well, I don't know. We're gonna be rolling.
The Iguodala situation is
nowhere for him to even play. Even without Iguodala, it's nowhere for him to play on the Lakers. When you saw their rotation, they have a lot of players to play, and I've been watching a lot of the teams. They're smaller. The players are smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, they even fixing the heights on them. They won't even let you say 6'8" no more.
Right.
But it's not a lot of height, so even some of the lineups that, you know, teams like the Lakers and teams like that can roll out there. I mean, for God's sakes, not that they're a good team, but Oklahoma City started 3 point guards the other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so they don't. Do you need another 6'8"?
A lot of people got really narrow.
That can't play defense
with that small ball that Golden State played. When you got Draymond at the 4, sometimes Draymond at the 5. But they forgot that small ball included Kevin Durant, who was already 6'11".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that the one team that probably can do that, and which we'll talk about that. We're talking about surprise teams that might make some waves. They're not title contenders, but they'll make some waves, and that's Dallas. I do not think that Porzingis is dirt. Please. Stop drawing that comparison. He got to earn that to me.
Yeah, he got
to earn that. Dirk is a monster.
Dirk is one of the all-time
period
players.
So do not compare Porzingis, who we barely seen, at his peak.
No doubt. Like, and Dirk, was next level. Like, we shouldn't make that comparison. I get how people are making a comparison with the height and the skill set.
and Dirk. And Nash and Dirk with Doncic and Porzingis. But Nash wasn't great at Dallas. He won his MVPs at Phoenix.
Well, I think Nash was still the same player at Dallas. It's just, and like I said,
the system, then, Tony. Yeah, we going there. Yeah, we don't even have to go there. But I'm just saying. So with that being said, I like.
Because I mean,
Doncic lost some weight.
Look at Nash's stat line when he won the MVP. It wasn't that great.
Right, but even in Dallas, he wasn't even averaging double figures in points.
He was.
A couple of years he wasn't no double.
Oh, well, when he was first getting started. I'm saying once they were winners,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Don he lost weight. He looks good. I was excited to see Porzingis play. He did not.
Right, that's a whole other thing.
So I'm like, but they like, we gonna be safe. But I'm like, is he healthy or not?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he can play 10 minutes. But let's see how he looks. One thing about Porzingis that you at least have to say, defensively, even right now he has Nowitzki beat. You know what I mean? Like, Nowitzki could never block shots or play defensively. Like, Porzingis is considered a rim protector.
But when we talking about that bag, and that offensive bag, that repertoire, Dirk was different. Yeah, Dirk was different. Dirk was different. You know what I'm saying? So,
Dirk beat everybody by himself one year.
With the one leg jump shot.
When he peaked, he beat everybody by himself. He literally ran through the league, including LeBron's worst finals. Beat Kobe that year. I think they swept him.
Yeah. Dirk was a monster.
When it hit right, it wasn't nothing nobody could do.
And his
they had an old Jason Kidd, like Tyson Chandler, just out there, like they was balling.
Right.
Short
Another
bars.
team that is just like an anomaly to me that should be better is Detroit.
You think they should be better?
I think that as far as when you talk about talent,
where
they got Derrick Rose with them this year, that might make
that's not good game to game talent. He's a good
Blake
player.
Griffin, Andre Drummond is the most mysterious big man. Did you see the 3-point? You saw it. Now
with the back pedal. all we was talking about in the offseason when they be shooting their threes. I remember in the offseason he was putting up all them videos on YouTube of him shooting threes, making 5, 6 in a row. I knew he was about to do something stupid.
I'm at the position where I think they should put the 3-point line in like at 2 minutes left in every quarter instead of shooting it so much. Okay, listen, I was born in '81, so I still had a little bit of the old school in me. Jordan, Kobe, even Bron, they make love out of the mid-range game. You know what I'm saying? And even Dirk, These guys don't get it. They keep wanting to shoot these threes, and they look bad.
And I get what they're saying about the analytics or whatever. And sometimes in the regular season, these things prove true. But then you got to use the eye test, and especially what wins and what works in the playoffs over the course of a series.
You got to
get
that
bag. It's a lot of 2-point shots available. Like, just knock them down. But Bogdanovich shot
the big Boban. What are you doing shooting threes? Steven Adams? Like,
yeah, they all shot threes the other day.
Stop it. Watch. So, you're going to see it in a high school game. You're going to see it in a college game.
They trying not to be dinosaurs out here, man, because these coaches crazy and these GMs, they won't put you on the team if you can't shoot a three. Man.
And it's bad. It's bad. I think it's bad because it just sends the wrong message. You always start from the inside out, man. You got to go inside and then out. And then,
but you know, Drummond,
your game first.
Drummond just doesn't
have
even good
the inside.
Motor. He doesn't have the motor. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, some games he's going to get you 20 rebounds and 20 points, and then other games it's just not going to be there. So it's like one of those teams where you talk about the production. Can you trust these players to play, you know, to their averages on a night in, night out basis? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, when they play a great team, can you expect them to play better? And no, you can't expect Detroit to do that. But Detroit will probably make the playoffs this year in the East again. Blake isn't hurt. You know, they might have a chance to win.
What about Sacramento? You like them?
I like the youth of them and the energy of them. But
they was close last year. They got like 4 or 5 games out.
I like it, but I think the players that they depend on cannot expect that veteran consistency at this point.
Fox can't shoot.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't depend on him.
Can't shoot. Buddy, like, you know, he has great games, but then, like I said, like, is he ready to be consistent?
Absolutely.
And no, they're just not. You know.
What about the Pacers?
The Pacers have a really good team this year. I'm
excited
to see Oladipo come back, see if he looks healthy. But that roster looks good right now. It was good. People got surprised last year to find out like that. Oh, the Pacers, you can't just write them off because Oladipo is injured.
Right.
Because people don't. That's what I'm talking about production. People don't realize that all they really needed to replace was 18 points per game. Now you got those clutch moments. That's why in the playoffs they couldn't get over the top.
Right.
But he only scores like 18 to 20 points a game. But usually around 18 is what he averages. So it wasn't a lot to. They got a lot of shooting in there. They look great. Utah's going to be better because of Mike Conley. They got some more three-point shooting on the team. The West is just better this year.
What does Mike Conley do better than the other guard?
Than Rubio.
Yeah.
He plays defense better than Rubio.
Okay.
And he manages the game better than Rubio. He's basketball IQ, situational, and not that, because I thought Rubio's great, but he's also more consistent than Rubio. He's going to play to his averages. It don't matter who's out there.
Once again, health.
Yeah, but I feel like with Utah, they have to take the gamble because it's, you know, they got a chance to get them a guard that when you put Mike Conley on the floor with any other NBA point guard, he's not just gonna be outplayed.
Right.
I don't care
he gonna
who it is.
Yeah, he gonna be nice.
And he's gonna play his averages. He's gonna try to cancel
the move
it out
because you got to get Donovan Mitchell off the ball sometimes because his shots.
You got to get him off the ball all the time.
Yeah, he got to get off the ball.
Oh, because he was shooting 30 times. Really bad shots. I think that'll help him. But with Utah, just like those other teams, Spider, he's not ready to be a consistent.
But they got that veteran presence now that kind of influence him. Hey man, don't do that.
He's gonna do it anyway. I think he's almost like I like Dwayne Wade, and I don't think he's as great as Dwayne Wade.
No,
but
he ain't as efficient.
Yeah, but he has that headstrong, like, what are you talking about? Like Dwayne Wade, like he don't care. Like LeBron come here, like, what do you mean? This is my team. Like South Bay, this is my house. You know what I'm saying? Like South Beach, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
that's the one. He's gonna take a max contract from Utah.
Oh, absolutely. I can see that.
Ain't nobody gonna treat him like that.
And so I know people want him to take that next step up, but he's still young. He's not going to be ready to take that step
the USA team showed us that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro,
so listen, it's going to be balling pretty much for the rest of the season.
He's telling you don't get excited about the preseason. I'm not telling you that.
Please.
Get excited about the preseason. Do you see how hard these people playing? They playing so hard.
They playing too hard.
LeBron was diving on the floor. Yo, I was watching I can't remember who I was watching now.
Man, listen.
I think it was OKC and them. I was like, man, they need to slow down. Like, somebody go get hurt.
Yes.
Like, they was running into each other.
As my turn to do the rant, and that's what we gonna talk about. The dang on what you call it? The load management.
They ain't even play him. Let's talk about Doc Rivers. Talking about when they asked if Kawhi was gonna play in the preseason game, and he was like, "Yeah, I might." Like he on the team, man. You don't.
This is not football. This is basketball.
Not that you have to play him in the preseason.
You got
but for you to act like it's just ridiculous for us to expect a player on the team to be on the floor. Yeah. They he just now participated in his first full practice. A little while ago, I saw he just participated in his first full practice, but y'all trying to tell me he not gonna load manage during the season. Okay, all right, don't load manage him and see if he makes it through the season.
This season is going to be great to watch. I really hope my hope for this season is that everybody stays healthy when it comes clutch, so nobody has any excuses.
I don't care.
Brooklyn already has the excuses because they got Durant. But I'm just saying, I just hope that everybody's healthy. I hope LeBron's healthy. I hope Houston's healthy. That the playoffs is just exciting because everybody's healthy and we just got ballers going at each other. I want to go at each other.
You want to know buckets. You want to know something? This might be the last thing I'll say, but you were talking about excuses. And people don't need help to make excuses. They're gonna make excuses anyway.
I know.
Look at Harden. And me and Chris Paul fell out. That's why we lost. I know what we need to do. Come on, y'all were healthy and you still lost.
Yeah.
People gonna make excuses anyway.
Hey, check us out.
Acting all extra. Don't call me MVP. Well, you ain't.
Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you feel. The NBA, we going real in on it. We going hard on the NBA.
Man,
and you see, we talk about football a lot, but we going hard in on the NBA. So please watch the Spinion. We see y'all next time.
Spinion.